Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at the Boots Court Motel in Carthage, Missouri. This is day 2 of the trip. We're gonna make our way back up north to Iowa today. There's a last view of the room. Got everything packed in these wonderful bags. Anyway, the old motorcycle just sat out here. I looked her over already this morning. Looking good, so I think we're good there. This bag goes on this side. I'm showing you this because I'm always amazed. I've been just amazed how easy it is to put these bags in. Yeah, that's what that one's on. And then check this one. So these are GB weightless 900 is what they say on them. So I've packed everything in there and I got a little room to spare. So the bike is, I think we're over half a tank of gas on there, so we should be good for fuel for quite a while. I really enjoy running through Kansas City. So I think we're going to go back that way, at least get through Kansas City. Yesterday on the ride down, one thing I didn't, that was a surprise, kind of a negative surprise in a lot of ways, but I thought, nice south run, it'll be into the warmth, and it was. The problem was this is late fall and the sun is really low, so I had the sun in my eyes the whole time. It was a very clear day, kind of like today. There's not a cloud in the sky today, but today it's going to be my back all the way, so it should be okay, right? I think the other thing we're going to do different is I might try to take Interstate the whole way back, just because that bike just eats that stuff alive. And one of the things I want to do with this motorcycle is do a lot of real long interstate rides, 600-700 mile rides, and that means a lot of interstate. So I think I'm going to take Interstate every bit of the way, except for of course what I can't. So anyhow, it's going to be a great ride. Let's get going. Wahoo! Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. We are just about back to Iowa. We're just south of the Iowa border a little ways. We're at exit, we're still in Missouri, exit 110 off of I-29. So I don't know if we got 10 or 15 more miles to get to the Iowa border, but we're getting close. We're getting close. Bike's just running like a dream. This Super Meteor has just been a ball. Let's see what we got for miles. First time I've had that helmet off since we left the Boots Court Motel. Okay, we've got 605 miles on the ride so far for the whole trip, counting yesterday. 1,665 miles on the bike. So I had 1,408 this morning, so that's almost 260 miles this morning. So let's talk about that seat. I like the seat. It's a comfortable seat. I don't see any reason to change it at this point. When it wears out down the road, maybe I will, but I just haven't had any issues with it. It has lots of different places. It's wide. These are my Royal Enfield Alpine Star gloves. It's wide. It's comfortable, I guess is the best word. I find sitting forward to be more comfortable than back. However, on long rides like this, there's lots of, it does the job very well. Jumping up from there, let's talk about the handlebars are a good width apart. The grips are comfortable, very little vibration through the grips, if any. Yesterday when I had my thick gloves on, today I've got my thinner gloves on. Yesterday when I had my thick gloves on, it was just almost nothing through the bars as far as vibration. Today there's very little, if anything. And everything works really well. The controls are in the right spots. They're adjustable, so I've got them adjusted to what I like. And just perfection, I would say. The amount of wind over the windshield is perfect. Very little, if any, buffeting ever. Every now and then you get a little bit, but nothing much. The mirrors work great. So all of this is just doing dandy. Seat's good. All of this is very well. Foot pegs. I like these foot pegs. I'm glad I got these wider ones on here. These are, I don't know what they call those. Baxter Cycle put that on for me. Thank you, Baxter Cycle. They do work very well. I had the option of laying my feet up like this. I can do this. I can put my feet down like that. They're just very good. And I also use the rear foot pegs. This bike for long rides is ripe for running boards. If they were to make a running board option for this, I would definitely do that. Next thing would be the bags. The bags are great. They hold a good amount of stuff. They work pretty well. They popped off. I was able to carry them into the house to pack them, carry them to the hotel when I got there. They pop on and off easy enough. I like them a lot. So jumping over to the suspension, how's the thing ride? So let's just talk about that in relation to the Interstate alone, because that's what I've done today. And I would say on the Interstate, this suspension is set up perfectly. It's not too aggressive, it's not too tight, it's relaxed enough. It just performed perfectly. Cannot say enough good about the suspension and the ride of this bike. When I got it, it was on the lowest setting, and that was terrible. It bottomed out, but we've got it adjusted. I think we put it up 2 notches or something like that. I'm a 200-pounder, so we needed something. But no, for this long ride, what do I have, 600 miles on the bike so far? it's just been perfection. I am very happy with how this thing, I could ride across America on that, I'm pretty sure of that. Then jumping over to the brakes, there's been a lot of talk about the brakes on this bike. My opinion at this point with 1700 miles on the bike is the brakes are excellent. I have enjoyed them. You know, I tore through Kansas City going yesterday and then again today, doing all kinds of, talking about suspension and brakes here. I was very happy with how all that went, so let's just go with that. Talk about engine performance. So in the lower gears, it is a little gear sensitive. Not super gear sensitive, but just a little bit. In first, second, and third, you might want to be in the right gear for the right speed. Once you get over fourth and fifth, and especially sixth, in sixth gear from 50 miles all the way up to, I think I've had it up to 95 so far. So from 50 miles an hour up to 95, no problem. I buzzed through Kansas City, you know, did all that urban warfare or whatever you're going to call it. And I didn't have to play on the shifter to do that. You know, it just seemed to always be okay in sixth gear. So really happy with that. Really happy with that. So we talked about the comfort, the suspension, the brakes, and how well the engine worked. And then now I've got this, I've been getting in the 40s for mileage, speaking of engine. And now this last tank I got 54, I think is what I said. So let's switch over to the trip itself. The roads on the trip, let's start with that. The roads have been, you know, Iowa and Missouri have put a lot of money into these roads, at least the ones that I've been on. And a lot of them were resurfaced, freshly resurfaced, very good. Kansas City, which is usually full of potholes, was only slightly full of potholes this time. You know, the roads were seemingly better there even than the last time I was through there. I love driving through Kansas City on the interstate. South of Kansas City on I-49 and north of Kansas City on I-29, the roads were like freshly resurfaced. I mean, it's just very, very good. So I loved it. As a matter of fact, just buzzing down those roads, I had to remind myself to slow down and enjoy, you know, enjoy this beautiful scenery, you know, that we have around us. And, you know, it was really quite an enjoyable ride. There's so much to see, just so much to see on a long ride like that. And I couldn't believe all the state parks, and I didn't get to stop, but I know they're there now. And, you know, all the, just the views and a lot of fun, and a lot of fun in a ride like this. You know, really enjoyed it, really enjoyed it. The other thing that's kind of interesting, the Loess Hills of Iowa. If you're from Iowa, they tell you the Loess Hills start in Hamburg, Iowa, and they go up to Akron. And that is true. They do start in, you know, that is true in Iowa. But 45 miles south of here, I started seeing Loess soil, and we are in the Loess Hills. That's Loess soil back there and over yonder. Anyway, I'll catch up to y'all again when I get home. Wahoo! Hey, Fuzzy Biker here. We've made it back to the Fuzzy Biker Garage. Check this hot rod out. 747 miles on it in the last 2 days since 9:20 yesterday morning. It's about 2:30 right now. I think the bike has 1,808 miles on it, and we did 748 miles in 2 days, and it's 2:44 right now. Things to talk about immediately. The big thing would be, I love the windshield. I love those foot pegs. I love those bags. Other thing would be just how comfortable the motorcycle was. It was a treat. I never felt uncomfortable on it. It just always was. The seat is great. The way everything works together is great. The feet, I was able to put my feet from back to front, and was able to hang my feet off the ends, and, you know, all kinds of neat things. It just works so well. A couple other things real quick. One is gear. I had good gear on. I had this cardinal knot jacket on, and you know, in the morning it was 47 degrees when I left here. Yesterday it was 47 degrees when I left down there today. And here I am, you know, it's 67 degrees now, and I've got all my vents opened, and all the gear works so well. Good gear is worth its weight in gold. If you do a lot of biking, you know, the cardinal knot jacket, the insulated pants, the gloves. I don't know. And then the other thing I guess of note would be the engine. Especially in sixth gear, I was going through Kansas City both directions, just rocketing through that traffic. It just performed well. It just did it so well. Real happy with that. Very happy with the whole event. You know what? I've got 1,800 miles on that. I've got about 500 miles planned in the next 2 days. I'll get a couple hundred miles in there somewhere, and I'll do a kind of a summary of my opinion on this bike, and probably in the 2,500 mile review, or whatever you want to call it. Also, I'd like to thank Baxter Cycle for fueling this trip. I mentioned to them I was going to take the ride, and they offered to pay for some of the costs, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate you all coming along and hanging out and listening to my nonsense for the last couple of days too. Just been a lot of fun. Just been a lot of fun. Life is good, and get yourselves out there and ride, my friends. Wahoo!